Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And this is my complete beginner's guide to Monster Hunter Now, Hunter ranks 1 through 20. As a practicing mental health therapist, this is my therapist mental health tip of the day. Take your time and practice mindfulness. There is no need to rush through Hunter rank levels. Stay present and have fun, and you'll see how this tip plays into the video. Also, there's a link in the video description if you want more information about mindfulness. It's only day 4 since Monster Hunter Now has released, and I have over 12 plus hours playing the game on foot. In fact, I almost have to buy more item storage. I wanted to make sure I had a good amount of experience before making a beginner's guide for Monster Hunter Now. First, we are going to start with some game settings. I have seen no other guide cover this for some reason, and it's really good information. Go into your settings by tapping your Hunter Rank tab and make sure you have Adventure Sync on. This will ensure your Palico gathers materials and uses their blue paintballs when you have the app closed. The most optimal setting for graphics is medium or higher and 60 frames per second. These settings help with timing and dodging during monster battles. You will definitely see a difference when you have these settings on. Finally, make sure you go to the support tab at the bottom and download all assets. If you don't, your game will load slowly and lag in performance. You can also change your username in this screen, but it can only be changed once every 30 days. Now the game does a great job of showing you how paintballs, weapons, and other things work using the in-game tutorial, so I will break down important things for beginners to know for Monster Hunter Now. Next, we have healing items. Currently, there are 2 main ways to heal in Monster Hunter Now. First, we have healing items, which are first aid meds and potions. These heal you by 50% of your max HP. Next, we have health regeneration. Over time, your HP points will heal by 1 or 2 points per minute. And here are some important notes. For first aid meds, you can claim 5 free first aid meds every day on the shop menu. Potions are mainly obtained by buying with gems and referral codes. Now, you get free refills for first aid meds until you hit Hunter rank 11, so make sure you have max HP and first aid meds before you advance to Hunter rank 11. And you can get 5 free potions from referral codes. It's actually really easy to get an account to Hunter rank 6 using referral codes, so I will cover this in another video. Number 3, weapons. Weapons have been a staple of the Monster Hunter franchise and why it makes the game so much fun. Right now, Monster Hunter Now has 6 weapons: Sword and Shield, Greatsword, Longsword, Hammer, Light Bowgun, and the regular bow. In the beginning, you will only be able to use the Sword and Shield. You will unlock the Greatsword by completing the first stage of Chapter 2, Shimmering Swamp. And you unlock the Longsword, Hammer, Light Bowgun, and Bow at Hunter rank 15. Every weapon has its strengths and weaknesses, and generally you will find one that you personally love and use. I myself am a dual blade guy. Unfortunately, that's not in the game, so I'm just going to have to wait until we release dual blades into the game. Weapons also have elements, which are fire, water, ice, thunder, paralysis, poison, and dragon. A good rule of thumb is to spread out your weapons in different elements. That way you always have an element for every monster. Number 4, armor. Both weapons and armor have equipment skills you can use once you reach that equipment's grade level requirement. Each piece of armor can hold 1 or more equipment skills. Since this is a beginner's guide, I won't go in depth into equipment skills, and one item that is accessible early on, that is a much for melee weapons users, is the Kulu headpiece, which allows you to lock on your target. Another thing to note is to have different pieces of armor with different species so you can have plenty of materials to upgrade them. For example, use a Puke poison weapon, a Kulu headpiece, a leather body, Kadachi gloves, Jaguar's pants, and Barrett boots. You can also create safe sets of weapons and armors by using the loadout tab in the middle. As you see in the middle right here, you can go ahead and swipe between right or left, and you can easily and quickly switch out between a preset armor and weapon set you made. This makes it really quick for you to switch from one set to another when you're taking on a different type of monster. And at 4.2 we have gathering points. So in order to forge, upgrade weapons and armor, you need materials. Monster drops and gathering points are where you can get materials. Gathering points are landmarks on the map that you can tap to gather materials, and there's two types of points. You have the small ones that can be picked up by you by tapping on them, or your Palico will pick them up for you. You can pick them up by tapping them once on your map, or, like I mentioned, your Palico can gather them for you on or offline. Once your Palico bags gets full, you go get an alert and you can claim the items. Now for this to work, make sure you have Adventure Sync on. That's how your Palico will pick up items. And at number 2, you have large points. So we have small points and then we have large points. These are landmarks on the map you can tap multiple times and get multiple materials. So you see those little branches or those crops that are out there, you see with the diamond icons, those are large gathering points. And the thing about large gathering points is that there are also 3 different types of them. So what you can get depends on what types of biomes there are. So the 3 different types, here they are. At swamps, you can get mining outcrops, which drop ores. Deserts, you have bone piles, which will tap and give you monster bones. And you have forest vegetation, which will give you bugs, herbs, and mushrooms. Sometimes a large gathering point node will give you more items. So instead of giving you about 4 items, which they usually do, about like 4 of them, they can give you 8 of them at a time. The thing is, if you play Pokemon Go, and I'll do another video for this, gyms are usually gathering points. So if you played Pokemon Go a lot like I have, you're a hardcore Pokemon Go player, your Pokemon gyms are usually large gathering points. So keep that in mind when you're trying to figure out how to gather materials. Number 5 is how to level up your Monster Hunter rank. Now there are 3 general ways to get Monster Hunter rank points in Monster Hunter Now. Number 1 is the main quest storyline, which are quest objectives and urgent quests. And this is the only way to level up from Hunter ranks 1 to Hunter ranks 10. Once you hit Hunter rank 11, you will unlock number 2 and 3. Number 2 is the special/daily quests that will reset every 24 hours. When you complete these objectives, you will get Monster Hunter rank points. And again, this unlocks at Monster Hunter rank 11. At number 3, we have points from slaying large monsters. That also unlocks at Hunter rank 11. You will get more points the more stars the large monster has. Number 6 is monsters. There are 2 types of monsters, small and large, with different types and different species. Small monsters you can battle anytime, while large monsters, which are 1 star or higher, you can only battle them if your HP is above 30%. Now here's an important note. Large monsters respawn every 3 hours at UTC time, which is Coordinated Universal Time, starting from 12 AM in 3-hour intervals. So for example, 12 AM, 3, 6, 9, 12, etc., while small monsters will constantly spawn around you. Make sure you convert UTC time to your time zone. For example, since I'm in California, mine would be at 2 PM, 5 PM, etc. So what you can do is that you can go ahead, hunt monsters, go back home, wait till they respawn, and then you can go ahead and do it all over again. As you complete the story, you will unlock more monsters, and you unlock higher star tiers after you complete a full chapter of the story. For example, right now I'm on chapter 11 with a max of 5-star monsters. If I complete chapter 11, I will unlock 6-star monsters. Next, we have 6.2, which is the monster guide. You can find the monster guide by clicking on your Hunter rank tab and clicking on the monster guide tab. So here you can find what biomes the monster is located in, their elements and elemental weaknesses. And it also has more useful information, like an actual useful information tab that tells you the weak points of a large monster and what you should focus on in order to take it out faster. And most importantly, you can also see the obtainable materials to forge and upgrade weapons and armor. You can even filter it by the number of stars, and you see which tier you need to slay in order to obtain higher rarity drops. For example, as you see, I go to 5-star for Great Jagresses. They drop rarity 4 Great Jagresses prime scales. However, if I go to 4-star Great Jagresses, they also drop that Great Jagress prime scale. So this is a lot of useful information. So if you need any certain drops to upgrade or forge weapons or armor, you can find it in the Monster Guide tab. Number 7, we have hunting monsters. As you saw in the Monster Hunting Guide, there are large and small monsters, and there's a monster strength, which is indicated by the number of stars. The more stars a monster has, the harder they are. Also, if they are your current objective for your quests, it will mark them as a target, as you see here. Now, an important note, remember I told you my therapist mental health tip of the day? Don't go too far in the story. If you unlock monsters that are too hard for you, you will make it so your weapons and armor aren't strong enough and you'll have a hard time. And it'll block you and be a little frustrating, or even more frustrating, that you can't take out monsters quickly and you'll eat through your recovery items. To avoid this, keep your weapon grade 1 grade higher than your current highest monster strength. And keep your armor as close to the recommended as possible. For example, if you're at 4-star monsters, then it would be wise for you to either have a grade 4 weapon, or even better, make sure your weapon grade is grade 5 or higher. This will ensure that you're not having a hard time, you'll be able to take out monsters, and you'll slowly ease your way up to the next level. At 7-2 we have monster drops. Gathering point drops and monster drops have rarity grades. The higher the grade level, the harder it is to obtain. Monster drops will vary depending on your completion time. Basically, this is how fast you slay the monster, then you'll get a completion grade. The higher your grade is due to how fast you complete the hunt. Also, how many pieces of a monster you break during the hunt will also give you additional drops, just like in the original Monster Hunter games. Completion time grades have estimate timings. Now, this is an estimated timing. I don't know the exact timing, but usually this is what it is. You will get an A rank if it's 20 seconds or below, B rank between 20 to 40 seconds, and if you're any longer than 40 seconds, it's a C rank. So A, B, C. The higher your grade completion time, the more likely monsters will drop higher rarity materials. You can also double the amount of drops you get by paying 300 gems. Sometimes this is worth it as you get rare materials and need just one more to forge or upgrade one piece of equipment. Also, here's an important note. If you go on to forge or upgrade a weapon or armor or any other piece of equipment, if you go onto the screen, you can actually tap on the material and see where you can get it. For example, in order for me to get Glacial Grace 1 and forge it, I need to go ahead and slay Legianas and get their prime skills. It will show you the stars that you need, and as well as the monster and where it's found. It's a lot of information, so if you're looking for one specific material, this is a really great way to quickly find out what you need to slay and the strength you need to slay of the monster in order to get it. This applies to gathering points as well. If you click on one material and it happens to be one from a gathering node, it will show you what you need from a large or small gathering point, and it will tell you where you can find it. Really useful information. At number 8, we have hunting in a group or party. Group and party hunts max out at 4 players. You can't go any higher than that. Now, you can join a group hunt by clicking on the Join Hunt tab that will pop up above your HR rank. As you see, Join Hunt will pop up and then a Ready Up screen will appear. And then when all players are ready, the hunt will start. As for hunter parties, you can create a party by going to the Party tab on your hunter rank profile screen. As you see over here, click on it and then a tab will pop up that will say allow you to join your friend's party, or you join their party. All you have to do that is to scan the QR code that is provided to you. Once you scan the QR code, members will be added to the party. And now it's the same as a group hunt. So when you use a party on here, you'll see that instead of hunting in a group, it'll say invite party instead. Now, the only downside to hunting in a party is that you can't solo hunt while you're in a party. So if your friends aren't together in a group, like say you're walking around and you guys aren't walking together, you might want to do party instead of solo hunt. Well, if your guys are going to spread out and divide and conquer, you want to go ahead and just group hunt. And here's an important thing to remember. Whether you are group or party hunting, you can only hunt in a group or party if the other person is within 200 meters, which is usually about like 2 laps around a track. So remember, even if you hunt in a group or party, you still have to be relatively close. Again, the pros of a group is that you can solo hunt and then invite your friends as long as you guys are within distance. Cons of a party is that if you aren't in a party, you can't solo hunt, but in a party, if you guys are close to each other, it's just much easier for you guys to go around. And at number 9, we have monster hunt battles. You're invincible while using your special move, so as long as you use your special move, you can't get hurt by the monster. If you dodge with perfect timing, you can execute a perfect dodge. Like you see here in my battle with the Gigandragus, I'm able to execute it twice. It's actually a lot harder than it looks. Just like in the original Monster Hunter games, you can break parts of monsters off and get extra materials if you're successful in doing so. You can use healing items during battle as long as you aren't stunned or knocked down. And if your health runs out, you can revive as long as you have healing items. He'll shave a few seconds off the timer though, so you might want to reset. But if not, go ahead and revive and try to clutch up and win the battle. And here's a note, when you're using the lock-on equipment skill, it allows you to lock onto parts of monsters, and it only works for melee weapons. And at number 10, we have some miscellaneous tips. So Palicos can gather from large gathering points if you walk by them, even if you don't tap on them. This also applies to you having the app running in the background. If you happen to walk by something, you'll get some extra items that your Palico will be able to gather from a large gathering node. The game will show you a prompt if you are able to upgrade weapons or armor. It's really subtle, but on the top left or around the middle left, you'll be able to see a prompt if you have the materials to upgrade one of your armors or weapons. And you can tell which weapons you can forge or upgrade if there is an icon on the top right. Usually it's a green arrow, as you see over here, or it is a red, like, diamond thingy with a hammer. That will enable you to, and it'll tell you that you can forge that weapon. Please do me a huge favor, please like, subscribe, and comment for more Monster Hunter Now videos, and I will see y'all on the next one.